Hi, it's Robert Mattson. I'm doing a home office rescue with Murtaugh Hunt. Murtaugh, thanks for inviting me in to help you out.
Sure, no problem.
So Murtaugh suffers from one of the challenges that a lot of us suffer. He is working out of his home these days, and he's in a space that's not ideal for his professional work. So Murtaugh, can you give the people an idea of just what you do during the day?
Sure, I work for a software company, startup, and like everyone else, everything was sort of put on pause for the indeterminate amount of time. And what I am doing is trying to do the best I can with the situation that's around me. So I've got a basement area that I'm working with, and it's pretty much a hodgepodge. So I'd like to not have to use the virtual screens because a lot of times that messes with the green screen seems to mess with the rest of the surroundings around me, and I want it more natural, but I don't want it that natural.
Perfect. And Murtaugh suffers from what most of us do. We've got families, we've got our old stuff, their old stuff, kids stuff, and oftentimes Murtaugh looks like you've been demoted to the last place in the house. It looks like a breezeway, an entry into your home. Is that a good guess?
That's a pretty good assessment. It's like you can see, it looks like a very nice. The lighting source coming in here is a huge problem. I look like I'm in a silhouette half the time, so that's also something that's a challenge that I'd love to get addressed today too.
Excellent. So the first thing that we need to do, and unfortunately it's one of the hardest things, it's decluttering. So we're going to break it down. And when I say we, Murtaugh, I mean you, because unfortunately I'm not there to help you as I would normally be. But I need you to take it in. And what we're going to do is we're going to clear out that area to your right, which is to the screen left. We've got a printer and some other things there and some things underneath. It looks like you've got multiple shelves underneath that desk area to your right. And then you've got a bunch of things on the shelf, the built-in shelf, which is actually really nice behind you. So task one is to clear all that stuff out and see what we have to work with.
Oh, sounds good. Sounds great.
And through the magic of editing, Murtaugh has now magically cleared out most of what you see from the clutter in the background. Where it's going to live, well, that's up for him to decide a little bit later. But now we get to the point where we are going to take care of three different things. One is we want to make sure that he is framed in the video frame well. That is a combination of where he's sitting and also where his webcam is shooting. We want to make sure his background is interesting and informative about who he is because it gives context. But we want it to look interesting, neat. We want it to be a reflection of who Murtaugh is. So Murtaugh, we want it to look like it's professional, organized, well thought out, just with a touch of casual design. And then we want to take care of the balance of light. Because as you mentioned, right now, you are fading into the background, and the most interesting and powerful thing is the light from the outside.
Yeah.
So first we're going to start with the framing to make sure that you are framed properly. So
Okay.
This is where you normally sit, I take it?
Yes.
Okay. Right now, if you can see that you're pretty low in the frame. Our goal is to see if we can get it so your face is your eyes are at about 2/3 of the level up the frame. So the question is that as high as your seat can go, for one?
No, it can go higher.
Let's see if we just lift that up a little bit. Okay, and that immediately that improves where it is. Is your screen where your webcam is, you're using a built-in webcam on a laptop, correct?
Yes.
Could you flatten the screen of the webcam a little bit? There you go. So now you can see that you are definitely more raised in it. You're probably about 60%. So you're just a shade low, but not bad at all. And I think that is definitely something usable. Now, when we all sit and talk, when we're interested, we lean forward. And when we are listening or receptive, we tend to lean back a little bit. So do me a favor, lean forward as if you were interested and you're talking.
As if I'm interested?
Yeah, as if you're interested in what we're talking about. That's good.
Okay.
So yeah,
All
you're not too bad. Can you see how the framing is much different now?
Yeah, definitely.
And your webcam, it looks like it's about at eye level. Is it about at eye level?
Yes.
Okay, so that's relatively where you want it to be at all times. You want to be looking in the person's eyes, so you want your webcam to be at your eye level. Now you are a little bit off to the side. If you moved over to your right just a little bit, can you do that? Okay, now you're pretty well centered. So you are the main point of focus in the discussion. You are now drawing more of my attention. So you're properly framed. The next thing I'd like to change is your lighting. You've got that bright window behind me. Is there anything that you can do to block that window? What I usually recommend is a blackout shade, but you might not have something. You could do it in the short term with anything from a piece of fabric, even a kitchen washcloth if it fits, in some duck or gaffer's tape. You could also, if you don't have anything to put it on, you could use something like command strips and put those command strip hooks up there.
Oh, I do have those.
Great job, Murtaugh. You can already tell that you are definitely not being backlit anywhere near as strongly, but
Yeah.
you're still, the focus is not on your face. The question is, do you have any lights that you have that you can put on your face at all?
On my face, no,
Okay.
I really don't.
Okay. So
I'll
here's,
definitely take that as a tip, Robert,
Mhm.
going forward. So I'll take a look at that. I understand I can see now, even though I'm not totally backlit, I can see where there's light indications that aren't necessarily maximizing, like what you're seeing with you, so I'll have to go back and do that after.
Absolutely. And there are some little home tricks you can do. If you have a Home Depot or a Lowe's in your area or any kind of hardware store, they usually have these shelf clip lights. And if you've got something,
Oh,
you
yeah.
can clip a directional light. And then if you need to put something over it, it's called a diffusion fabric. Now, diffusion fabric, you can get on Amazon or order it, and you can create a framework around that. You don't put it right in front. Use an LED light that is daylight coated. So it's 5,600 Kelvin, more or less, 52 to 5,600 Kelvin. Get an LED light so it doesn't produce as much heat. And then you can jury rig. I even used an old t-shirt, especially if it's old and worn, so it's almost see-through.
Oh, yeah.
And you utilize that. You can create a frame for it, put it in front of it. I used everything from an Amazon box to, I've seen people use things like kitchen strainers. They cut out the bottom, they put the light in, they tape it up, and then they put the fabric over it, and it creates a beautiful soft light. And you just put it at a 45-degree angle facing down, and it'll put the focus on you. So that's the last thing you need to do before you get to the end. But let's talk now that we've handled framing. We've talked a little bit about how to improve your lighting. Now we need to stage things. Let's talk about what has changed. Now, obviously, there's a feeling of order behind you.
I already feel more relaxed in terms of, like, there's no, even though it's a bit stark, the order, and I don't feel like I'm stressing about, either consciously or subconsciously, about the background, about what it looks like in back of me.
Yep.
And while I have no qualms about the way I live and the kids and everything like that, because this area wasn't set up to be this space for an extended period of time, and the nature of what we're doing today, the Zooms and the meetings and things like that, I don't need a traditional bookshelf in back of me like a lot of people are having, but I did want some sort of structure that wouldn't be the first thing people look at when I'm trying to have a meeting. So,
well, Murtaugh, we've done our office rescue. How do you feel?
This feels super. I feel so excited that I've been able to organize some things. I thank you so much for just being able to look at what I had for materials around me, even today, even though it wasn't exactly, especially with the lighting. I think that would have really just put the icing on the cake. But I know what I need to do. So have this in back of me and be able to feel more comfortable about taking taking meetings and not just worrying about what the background looks like or trying to figure out the right green screen emulation that's not going to make me look like I'm coming out of some sort of, it just messes with the face and the whole background. I just don't like the effect. So this makes me feel like I'm at home, but something that I know that I can now concentrate on with talking with people. So I really appreciate this, Robert.
Well, thanks, Murtaugh. It's been a lot of fun. And that is the first of the home office rescues, and I'm sure I'll be doing quite a few. Take care.
Yeah, thank you.